All right. Hey, what's up, everybody? Sorry for the delay. There's always a whole bunch of stuff that I got to do before these streams. A lot to prep to make sure it's as smooth as possible for you guys. So, once again, thanks for joining. Thanks for checking out my channel. Thanks for being here with me on a Saturday. We're going to learn and grow together. That's the whole point of these things. It doesn't matter what program you're using, it doesn't matter how much knowledge you have. It's time to just jump in, all right? It's time to jump in and learn and practice our passion together. So today, I've wanted to do this for a while, but this tutorial is basically going to go over how to track your footage here, and we're not even gonna comp anything into this footage. We're just using this as camera data. We're gonna take this 3D tracked camera data, and we're going to build out a 3D scene. I'm using Cinema 4D. You can use whatever you want. We're going to build out that 3D scene, and we're going to use this 3D tracking data and apply it to that scene in order to give it a bit more realism. Now, obviously, I think the faster way to do this would probably be to actually hook your iPhone up to your camera and do this in Unreal Engine, but I'm not quite there yet. So I'll certainly have a tutorial on that later, but I still have a lot more research to do before I can confidently jump into Unreal and bring you guys through that process. I don't want it to waste your time here. I certainly want to be as pointed as possible with these streams. So before we jump in, though, just a couple announcements for you guys. The last couple weeks have been huge for my channel. Thanks to you guys, I really appreciate it. You've checked out my videos. You've been leaving comments like crazy. So I put out my photoreal VFX full VFX workflow video, and that's got 32K views. That means a lot to me. Thank you so much. There's a whole bunch of comments in there, and this is an hour-long video. It goes through my entire workflow when I'm comping like VFX, live action. Sorry, so many words. It goes through my whole workflow basically when I'm trying to put in like realistic-looking CG elements in the live action footage. And then I also dropped this custom HDRI tutorial video. And unlike the live streams, these are actually, produced videos that I took time to edit and whatnot. And it's at 36K. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much. And it's full of great comments as well, great questions. With the custom HDRI thing, I released a HDRI pack. The link is in the description. And with the photoreal VFX, I think that's it. That's all I wanted to say. I just really appreciate all you guys stopping by the channel and helping me out here. It means a whole bunch. So if you're not subscribed already, definitely subscribe and leave a comment. What do you guys want to watch? What do you guys want to see in the coming streams? But I'll be doing my best as usual. You guys are always stopping by here. You guys know how it is. I'll be watching the chat here, but I'll also be focusing on the lesson. So I'll do my best, all right? And then also, there's a weekly challenge every single week. And that is set up through ran through the Discord server that I have. The link is also in the description. And we do one every single week. I announce the winners at the end of this stream, at the end of the lesson. And I'll also announce the new weekly challenge at the end of this lesson. So definitely stick around and let's make some cool stuff. Let's jump in. So we want to track this footage. Also a link in the description. Download link for the footage. I've been playing a lot of Last of Us, 2, and you're squeezing through some dark, tight spaces, and that's certainly what I want to do. I have downloaded all of. Oh, this is a mess here. Let me show you guys. I got all these like barrels, ammo crates, boxes. Let me get rid of the cloner and just lay out here what I got. This is all from Megascans, and I used Bridge to bring all of these assets into C4D quickly and easily. There are super high-res 8K textures. And, another crazy bit of news. Guys, I got something really awesome in the works. If you look very closely, you'll see here, I am running a Quadro RTX 6000. with 24 gigs of video RAM here. That is huge. That is so much more than, I was on a, just a couple months ago, I was on a GTX 1070, and I think that had like 8 gigs of RAM. And then I got an RTX 2080, and that still had 8 gigs of RAM, but my goodness, 3 times more. With the Quadro RTX 6000, I'm so amped. And that's actually, we're going to use the power of this card in this scene. We're going to have a whole bunch of these boxes and crates. We're going to stack these things up high. You ever seen the end of Indiana Jones 4? It's basically going to be like that, but like a real tight, narrow corridor that we're going to be squeezing through. And we're going to light it with some really cool, like, old vintage Edison bulbs. So that's the plan for the stream today. But we start with tracking our footage. So we can do it in After Effects with the After Effects tracker. Let's just run it and see what it does. Actually, real quick, before we run it, I know I'm getting ahead of myself. I don't need a JPEG sequence because we're not comping anything into this footage. So let's just, in After Effects, I'm just going to throw a 3D camera tracker effect on here and let it run. I'm not even going to mess with any of the settings here. I'm just going to see what it's going to do. And hopefully, this thing is blazing through. It's only 1280p, so, or 720p, sorry. But how you guys doing? How you guys doing in the chat here? We got some fans from India. Awesome. Welcome, guys. Welcome, welcome. I definitely want to visit at some point. That is high on my list to visit India. Very, very excited. I got a couple friends out there, so it'll be cool to visit them and explore the city. Or the country, the entire country, rather. Yes, Rotobrush 2. It's awesome. It's very fast. And it's really cool because you can actually expand your like working area so that if you have any fast-moving targets or fast-moving objects, the Rotobrush will actually be able to like catch up. And it's a lot more accurate. So it looks like this has tracked our scene pretty darn well. And I'm just scrubbing through looking at these points, and there's a no, it actually looks fine. And here's the thing, is it doesn't have to be perfect. As long as it's tracked for the most part, like, again, we're not comping anything into this footage. We're just taking the camera data, and we're using that. So I'm going to go ahead and lay a floor plane probably at this point here. So I'm just going to select, I'll select all these. I'll right click and set ground plane and origin. Boom. Actually, let me get just these guys. Set ground plane and origin. And let's go ahead and just make some solids here. So I'm just going to hold down shift and try and select 4 points that are kind of in a square. Maybe like these points here. Right click and create a solid and a camera. That's going to give us our solid right there. And if we scrub through, we can see that it's pretty much stuck to the floor. Let's go ahead and give ourselves a wall right here. So I'm just going to select the footage, select the camera tracker, and we'll make a plane right about here. We'll make a solid there. And I'm going to rotate this guy. Let's see. Let's rotate this guy up about 90 degrees. So I'm holding shift to rotate it 90 degrees. And you just want to line everything up so that your lines are pointing in the right direction. And this guy we can actually probably scale and scale. And I basically just want to optimize our scene. So I want to tell After Effects like where these points are. And honestly, I probably don't need to build out all this geometry. Let me think about this for a second. I tend to get ahead of myself in these streams. You know, I just keep going, charge full speed ahead, but it's nice to stop and think for a second. So, all right, I just want to have this, when I bring this into Cinema 4D, I want this camera data to be as easy to work with as possible. So maybe all we need to do is have our floor. I'm going to go ahead and parent the camera to the floor, all right? And this is going to optimize our scene. So what we'll do, I'm going to hit P. And since it is, you guys see here, if I make a new solid, and I hit position, it's at 640 by 360. All right, so I want to lock in the same position for this red solid. So 640 by 360 to 0. All right, and since the camera is parented to this floor, nothing's going to change because they're moving relative to each other. But what happened was basically this is snapped to the center point. So when we bring this into our 3D space, it's going to be at 0, 0. Let's mess with the rotation as well and just zero everything out. And we'll put that at 270. All right, so that's just going to orient everything correctly. And then as far as scale goes, scale is always adjusted in Cinema 4D. I have to adjust it no matter what. So let's see here. So I'm honestly, yeah, I'll mess with the scale. I'll just show you guys. I'm gonna make a new solid, and we're gonna make it 3D, and you'll see it's kind of tiny down here, right? So all you want to do is mess with the scale of your floor, and since this solid is not parented to the floor, if I hold Control, it'll make these numbers slide at a lower or a slower rate. So you just want to get this solid so that it's about the size of your composition, something like that. And then you can just unparent everything. And every time you make a new 3D layer, it's going to sit perfectly right in the middle of your scene. So that's a really fast and easy way to optimize your scene in After Effects. And I know that I think Action Movie Dad put out a plugin to do all of that in like 2 clicks. So definitely check that out. Okay. So all I need to do is go to File, Export, Maxon Cinema 4D Exporter. And let's do tracking folder. And I'll just call that track. And we should be done with After Effects. Let me open up that file that we just exported. Track. Okay, cool. And if I scrub through, you can see that our footage is just dropped perfectly in, and it looks really nice. So the idea here is we want to build out a like a little corridor. So if let's see here, if I hop out of camera view and we take a look at our 3D track, you can see certainly that's what happened in real life. I turned a corner. You know, we did a thing, and we just need to build geometry around all of this. So if I spawn a cube and we do something like this, right? And it's going to be a long corridor because I really want to make use of this this new graphics card. So we're going to fill it with a bunch of stuff. Something like that, and then holding Control to duplicate and R to rotate, holding Shift to snap. So we have this little corridor that we built for ourselves, and I'm going to go ahead and just make all that editable. Hit T, and let's group it, Alt G, and we'll scale it on the Y. And then let's just make a floor and hop back into camera and see what we got. All right, so in the wall, we definitely need to push this back a little bit. So we'll go to top view just to see what's going on. So I'll push that back a hair. Perfect. And then let's see, what else do I want to do? I want to pull up my frame rate. I want to see if I'm getting a decent frame rate here. So I'm going to hit Alt V, and that's going to pull up our viewport options and whatnot. So I'll go to HUD, and we want, where are you? Frames per second. And that'll pop up here. So we're getting a great frame rate here. So we know that this is a true, accurate representation of, of time. And we come around this corner and we hug that corner real tight. That's awesome. So that trick, basically tracking your footage and using your real camera move as a virtual camera in a full 3D scene, that just kind of makes your 3D scenes or your 3D sequences feel a lot more real and a lot more alive because you're actually using a real camera. Again, if you were doing this in Unreal Engine, you would just hook up your phone or your iPad to the program, and you would mount it to just like your actual camera, a shoulder-mounted camera, and you would walk around your scene in real time. But again, since I don't know Unreal that well yet, I'm going to save that tutorial for later. All right, how's everyone doing so far? Yeah, the camera normalization script is the best. I hadn't installed it yet. I've gotten pretty quick at just doing it. I've watched this tutorial many times. Oh, Strange 07, no sound. All right, can you guys hear me? If you guys can hear me, give me a thumbs up in the chat. Just want to make sure you can hear. I think, Strange, maybe you are the only one who cannot hear me, but we'll find out. Hopefully that's the case. All right. So, let's get our scale right. We definitely need to get our scale right. So I always spawn a figure, and the figure would tell us how big our scene is. So our scene is actually too large right now because that person is, if I'm 5'9", I want that person to be as tall as me, right? So what I'll do, if I actually start scaling up this null object that has our camera in it, it's not gonna work correctly. It's gonna snap back to its original position, and it's just not gonna be nice. So let me hop out of the camera view, and I'll show you guys how to easily fix that. I'll hide the floor for a second. We want to scale our scene from the center point so that everything scales proportionally. But before I do that, I want to just drop this into another null object. So I'm going to hold Alt and select a null. And this now is our camera. And I'll hit L to enable our gizmo. And I'm just going to zero out the gizmo. So it's sitting right there in the middle. So when we scale it, it's scaling from the ground from 0, 0, right? So to get this scene proportionally scaled, what we'll do is we'll go to coordinates, and we need to actually type in the numbers here. We can't scale it up and down. We can't use the scale tool because it'll just snap back to its original position. It's not going to work correctly. And you can see there, something happened where it, never mind, that's the null object. Okay, if I use the scale tool, you can see if I hit play, it's going to drop underground. Or wait, did it work? Does it just randomly work? Yeah, I'm underground, basically underground now, so we don't want to do that. We want to scale it using these settings here in the attributes. So we'll do 0.5, and then maybe a little bit, so like maybe 0.35, something like that. And we'll hop in. Maybe it's a little big. That feels right. Maybe 0.375. And now our scene is scaled proportionally. And let's bring our geometry back in. That's a guide. We're going to build it out with those boxes. All right, so what would be the coolest setup? So like, let's go back into top view and adjust this on the fly. All right, so I just want to get this corridor as tight as possible. And we can actually adjust the camera, like the orientation is a little weird. We can adjust that after the fact. And I think I can get this wall a little bit closer. So I want to get it as close as possible. Maybe like there. Oh, that's nice. Yeah, that's really good. Okay. So what we'll do now, let's actually adjust that little camera motion at the end. We want to tilt it up. So I think the best way to do that is to maybe throw it in. We want to adjust the camera. I wonder what the best way to do this is. We need to tilt the camera up. Let's hide the geometry for now and figure out the best way to make some adjustments on the camera. So we want it to be tilted up a bit more. So I'm wondering, it looks like the entire scene needs to be angled up just a little bit. So if let's see, we hit L, we get it about there, and we do something like that. I'm wondering if that'll even things out a little bit. Yeah, that's actually not bad. So all I did was just grab the outermost null object that our camera is sitting in, and I tilted it up just so that this line is as straight across the floor as possible. And I think that did the trick. Okay, so the next step here, we're going to light this stuff last. First, we just want to drop in all of our barrels and ammo crates and whatnot, right? Oh, and let's definitely save our scene. Yeah, this is track. All right. I do need a mod. Yeah, I do. Oh yeah, and Evolver, you were right. Also, good to see you. Octane is free for Blender. 100% free for Blender. Okay, let's see here. Let's hop out of the camera view and let's set up our scene. Let's set up all the barrels and the crates. So I'm going to copy this camera and this null. This will be our, we'll just call this like our block out scene here. I'll grab this. I'll grab everything, in fact. Copy it, and we're going to paste it into this assets project window, or project file. I'll give it a second to load. All right. It's still loading, I guess. We might get a crash, but that's okay. How long is this? Usually I go for 3 or 4 hours on the stream. I try and keep everything, again, as consistent and precise as possible. And I want to make sure that, I get through a complete lesson by the end. I don't want to do like a part 1 and part 2 too much. So there's only so much we can do. We can't do crazy things. We can't do big scenes unless there's a part 1 and part 2. But for now, it's, just like about 3-4 hours. Sometimes it goes 5 hours, but today I'm probably going to end around 2 my time. All right, so it looks like we're frozen. So let's go ahead and reopen Cinema. I'm glad that I saved that project. That was close. All right, so for those of you just coming in, so what we're doing, we're taking some footage, and we've tracked it in After Effects. I didn't mess with any settings. I just, threw the default After Effects tracker on there, made a plane on the floor, and I'm taking this tracking data, and I'm using it to animate and navigate around a 3D scene we're going to build in Cinema 4D. So it's a way to make your CG scenes and your sequences a bit more realistic because you're actually using real camera data. And we just crashed, so we're hopping back in. So a quick tip for you guys, if you want to improve your viewport frame rate here, a couple tricks that I use. First off, okay, here we go. First, what I do is I will switch my viewport method or my display method to just shading, crowd shading, versus with lines. So that's NA and NB. Those are your shortcuts. All right, so NA gets rid of the lines. Also, there's NQ, and NQ will basically turn off textures just in viewport. And it's needing a minute to catch up because I just opened the scene, but you'll see here on the left, the textures are loading in, and that takes up some memory in the viewport. And if you want to hide that, it's NQ. And yeah, certainly I'm going to render this whole thing. I want to try and get a render out and at least get something that we can see by the end of the lesson, by the end of this stream. So, all right, so I guess it's still loading in. Don't tell me it froze again. Yeah, we're good. These are 8K textures. Again, I want to make use of this RTX 6000, the new Quadro. So I actually have a deal with PNY and NVIDIA, and it's in the works, and it's very exciting. And I think we got some plans going. We got some plans. They sent me this new Quadro RTX 6000. Huge thanks to NVIDIA and PNY for working together to hook this up. Yeah, there's some very exciting plans in the future. I'm not going to give out any details yet. There'll be time for that. There'll be some time for that, for details. But I'm going to tell you now that you guys are going to benefit from it, all right? It's going to be very exciting. All right. Yeah, you guys can follow along with whatever program, whatever renderer, anything you want. Okay, so let's just give this a save. Again, NQ, that's going to hide your textures and make it a lot easier and quicker in the viewport. So let's go ahead and merge this with our tracking scene. Okay. So now what we're doing is we can actually see what this camera looks like when it's moving through 3D space with some barrels and crates and stuff. Oh, and we need to extend our scene. We also need to make sure it's at 24 frames per second. And I just want to make sure Shift 3 is your timeline. I just want to make sure that we're getting all those frames. Yep, we're good. So this is the fun part. This is when we build out our scene. So we can do this in a number of ways. We can instance all of these objects and kind of duplicate them one by one, right? Which is certainly a way to do it if you want full control over your scene. Another way to do it might be to I'm wondering if I'm wondering if we can set up like a dynamics situation where we just drop a bunch of stuff on top of each other. I'm wondering if that could work. Okay, let me test this. Let me test this. So if we okay, instead of manually placing everything, which is going to take a while, we might have to do that. That might be the best way to go for the most control. It certainly is, you know, the way with the most control. But I think what we can do is let's make a cube. Let's actually take the original geometry we set up, our test geometry, and let's take a look at this one more time and make sure that this is right for us. I think what I'll do is have a crossroads here in the middle. That way we can get some really cool depth in our scene. So by crossroads, I mean, I'll just open that up just a little bit. So we actually get, you know, a pathway going off into the distance, and we'll add some fog. It'll be like a foggy basement or something. So they just look like they go on forever, right? These boxes are just stacked high infinitely. That's the look we want to get. So I'm going to scale this out. I feel like this isn't the way to do it. In terms of using dynamics to drop everything on top of each other, because it's going to fill the entire volume of this cube, and that's so much wasted memory. So maybe what we can do is clone the boxes. Let's try that. Let's try cloning the boxes inside of these cubes, maybe on the edges of the cube or something. So let's get the cubes sitting on the floor. I'm going to grab all three of these, or I'll grab just the entire null. And I'm going to hop out of the camera so you guys can see what I'm doing here. I want to get the anchor point at the bottom of these things. So I'm going to use the axis center tool with include children, use all objects, and I just want to execute. So that's going to move the anchor point down to the very bottom of these cubes. And now I can just zero out the Y, and it'll be sitting right on the ground. So it'll look like these are stacked infinitely long and infinitely tall. And I'll make a couple more adjustments here so that it looks like, let's get rid of the floor for a second. So I just want to scale this out. To give the impression of infinity here. In fact, instead of doing that, I liked our angle. So I'm going to actually just grab these edges here. And I'll make sure only select visible elements unchecked so I get both of those. And I'll just move that out. We'll move that out. Same for these guys. We'll just move that out. And then maybe there's just a small cube at the end. right there. So things can just end there. And we can put a point light back there to draw the eye to the end, which will be sweet. And we'll do the same here. We'll put a box right at the end, holding control to duplicate. Just like that. Awesome. So this is our rough scene right here. Kind of reminds me of Dark Souls a little bit. Awesome. All right. How's everyone doing? Yo, if you guys spam the chat, I might have to just kick you. I just might have to. And you wouldn't want that. So Animator Pro, you best chill out. Unless you want to get the boot here. Because no one wants to see spam in the chat. That's lame. Y'all can do it in any program you want. It'll be a good time. Okay. So let's see here. Let's take all of these barrels and these crates and let's throw it into a cloner. So I'm going to hold Control Alt and drop it into this cloner. Oh, that's a subdivision service. Definitely don't want to do that. Uh-oh. Undo. Whew. Okay, that's close. Cloner, yes. Now, here's the key ingredient, secret sauce. Set your clones to multi-instance, and that's going to allow you to duplicate as many iterations as you want, and it's not going to tax your system. So you get to do it for free. That's the way we're going to be able to achieve this here. So next, what we'll do is it's cloning everything basically just on the floor here. We want to clone it across an object, and that's going to be this null. We're going to clone it across the null. That's all of our geometry that makes up our walls and our corridor here. So let's do cloner, and we want to set it to object. We'll drop the null into the object, and the iterations will be random. And we want, let's see, let's hop out of our camera view to see what's going on. And I'm going to take these cubes and we'll hide them in the viewport. So it looks like we're not getting anything. I don't know why. Is it because it's going across the null? Or do I need to do this individually? It might have to happen individually. Unless I take all of this. And I'm trying to just do one blanket duplication. Let's go ahead and select all that, and we'll connect plus delete objects. So now it's just one piece of geometry. And I'm going to hide this null. And let's go ahead and grab our cloner and point it to this new null that we created. So now it's duplicating across all of our geometry, all these different boxes. So we definitely need a lot more, certainly. All right. So what we'll do is the count, right? We'll set the count to like 1000. Let's see what that looks like. That is crazy. We want this to be so dense that we're not able to see through any of these walls. Let's go ahead and change it from surface. Actually, I think surface is what we want. Yeah, surface is definitely what we want. Let's go from 1000. Let's try 5000. And let's give the cloner a random modifier. So we'll make sure the random is in the effectors there. We'll uncheck position. Let's hop into our camera. Wow, that's intense. All right, let's take it from 5,000. Let's take it to 10,000. Let's take it to 30,000. And you can see we're actually still getting nice, a good frame rate. So this is like the blanketed version. This is how we just want to like blast it with as little time as possible, but get some kind of result. I feel like this isn't gonna be the way to do this. I think we're gonna have to place these things manually. Let's try 100,000. I mean, we're here. We can do it. And my frame rate is still above 24. That's incredible. But you can start to see this is kind of the vibe. But we're definitely inside of these crates and everything. Let's try 200,000. And now our frame rate is right around 24. But we're inside of these walls. So, hey, Evolver, thank you for the super chat. I appreciate you, brother. Means a lot. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for taking the time. I know you're a busy dude, but I'll see you around, man. Thank you. And no San Francisco prints yet. But it is definitely on the list. So I will let you know for sure. Oh. Okay. So I'm wondering, yeah, I feel like these need to be manually placed. And here's how we're going to do it and keep cost low. All right, let's go ahead and uncheck the cloner. Let's hop out of our camera. And let's set up an instance for each one of these objects. So I'll bring everything out of the cloner. Just like this, okay? And let's, basically what we're gonna do is we're gonna select each one. We should be able to select one at a time. Ruben Jack, what's up, bro? What's going on? Thanks for the super chat, man. Appreciate you. Thank you guys, it means a lot. A lot of work goes into setting up these streams, especially since I do them on the weekend. It's the only time I have to do them. So the super chats definitely help. It makes it like an extra level of worth, you know, to keeping this stuff going. It helps out a lot. All right, so we want to set up our hallway full of these boxes, and we want to do it by instancing each one of these so it doesn't destroy our system. We want to keep cost low. So we're going to select it, and we're going to go to, let's say, hold down this subdivision surface button, and we'll let go on instance. All right, and I'm just going to do that. Actually, I'll do that for each one. Oh man, I'm getting lost here. Okay, which one? Container S. Yep, box S. I think I did this other one twice. Other M. Yes, this one. That's M. We're on S. Container M. And these are all from Megascans, ported over with Bridge. A fantastic tool. I don't know what I'd do without them. I'm going to select all of these, and the instance mode I'm going to set to multi-instance, all right? And now, every time we duplicate these instances, we're getting them for free, right? We're not having to spend all of our RAM on duplicating the actual geometry. So I'm going to just put all this here into something like a... We'll just call that crates. And this is our crate instances. So yeah, you guys are asking about the tablet. This thing is the best. It saved my wrist a whole lot. And that's what this glove is. It's so I can like glide across my Wacom tablet easily. And yeah, I mean, I'm using this every day. So I want to save my wrist for as long as possible. If this wrist goes, I got to start using this wrist now. It's going to take a couple months to get used to, you know? So I just want to make sure I'm staying as safe and as healthy as possible when working. And I really do love it. I'm very used to it now. Okay, so we want to clone all these instances across our scene here. So I'm just going to build this up bit by bit here. I'm wondering if I can actually pile some of these on top of each other, maybe. And do it in chunks, because one by one I feel like it's going to be really, really tough. So maybe what we do is we take these instances and we build out like 4 different like why can't I see them? All right, so I'm going to render our scene and see what we got. And let's do I gotta name all my stuff. All right, this is base geometry, and I'm gonna put everything into a geometry folder. And the Octane Sky, I'm going to put into a scene folder. All right, so I'm just kind of confused on this instancing here. So if I want to instance this bit, this crate right here, I feel like I just need to, yeah, that's correct. multi-instance makes it go away for some reason. Render instance keeps it in the scene. Okay, so I'm gonna undo and just set these to render instance. And we'll hide the original crates. So I'll call these original crates. And then now we have our crate instances that we can duplicate to our heart's extent and not have to worry about losing any RAM or anything, or memory. So let's maybe build out 4 chunks that we can duplicate on top of each other. Have fun. Bye-bye. Really? Love you. Bye. So apparently, my cat ate my girlfriend's yoga mat. Not good. It was an expensive yoga mat, too. Okay. Let's make 4 blocks of crates here. All right, so what we'll do is I'm just going to control drag all these out. And just build it out. This will probably be the most tedious part of the process. And we'll just make them like, maybe we'll stack them like crisscross style. Like this. Maybe grab this guy here. Something like that. You can see how they're all about the same size, which is good for us. That way we can just start stacking things on top. I'm going to duplicate this guy out here. This is the longest part for sure. AM, I don't even know what to say about that. I don't even know what to say. All right, I'm just going to duplicate this guy back here. Boom. And then this tiny box, maybe we can stack onto this point. And I'm just holding control to copy all these things. And I definitely want to give it a bit of like staggered, kind of a staggered effect. That way the light will really play nicely on all this stuff. All right, so we're gonna do a second row here where this will just sit right on top. Something like this. Maybe I'll save that big guy for last. Awesome. So we have like a number of barrels here. Maybe I'll grab this one. Bring it to the edge. So this will be like our first pile. And we'll make maybe 2 more of these, and then we'll duplicate these across everything. Yeah, that should do. So I'll hide the camera, select all of these crates. And we'll group those and call this cluster 1. Ian, I make a car animation. Maybe, you know, I'll see. I kind of do what I just feel like doing on the day. I have a very small list of things to do in the future on the streams, so I could add to the list for sure. If I can find a good reason to do it, then I will. But that's a good recommendation. Sumit, wow, thank you so much. Says you love my energy to motivate and teach us new things. Absolutely. I'm glad you guys are down to learn. So that's the whole point of all this, for those of you just joining, to learn and grow together and grow in our passions together, right? And keep practicing. Consistently practice, because if you add up all of those days where you practice, if you do it every single day and you add that up to a month, to a year, you're going to have 365 days where you have put in practice. And that's going to add up for a decade and then eventually a lifetime, and you'll truly be a master of your craft. And AM, thank you again. Appreciate you. Sweet. Hi from Iran. That's awesome. My vacation was great. It was very relaxing and peaceful. All right. Man, gotta silence a lot of people today. A lot of nasty comments. A lot of spammy comments. Okay. So let's take all of these instances. Maybe in control drag it up, and I'll rotate it 90 degrees. Something like that. And maybe they can switch so that the first one's on the ground. I just want to keep this as randomized as possible. Something like that. Feels pretty good. Maybe we get like this big guy in here, and that'll make it more of a box shape. That feels right. Maybe a little bit more. 0.85. So again, this will just be duplicated over and over to build out our hallway of ammo crates. Maybe we grab one of these little barrels here and we put it up here or something. And we'll scale it down. Hey, I really appreciate you guys. I really do. Thanks for keeping it positive. Thanks for keeping it fun. All right. Let's maybe grab this guy, this wooden box. It's like Legos. It's like CG Legos, you know? That's what I love so much about all of this. Let's give it a save. Hopefully it doesn't crash on us. Yeah, I got that RTX 6000. PNY and NVIDIA. We're all teaming up together. They sent me one of these RTX 6000s, and it is working like a dream. And we're going to be working on something very cool in the future for you guys. So definitely stick around for that. You do not want to miss it, I promise. Very, very, very excited. There's some really good people over there, guys. Some really solid people. And we just need more people like that in the world. All right, so there's our first chunk. Let's build out one with these big guys here. So let's try and keep... Yeah, let's maybe do a round that's like a few of these. across. And we just want to randomly kind of rotate these a little bit. Maybe we'll keep the end ones straight, but the ones in the middle we'll randomly rotate around and move forward and back and just give it a bit of randomness to the whole thing. Something like this, and then we'll duplicate the last one there. Something like that. So we have all these crates, and we can probably take this middle one and we can flip it upside down just to get randomness out of this. Right about there. Cool. And then let's go ahead and stack a bunch of these guys across. And we'll throw in some of these military crates too. Like that. Cool. We'll get those to sit. Yeah, perfect. Just like that. And we'll duplicate these on the other sides. About there. And we can kind of fill in everything if I duplicate and rotate around. And we'll try and pack it in tight here. Same on this side. Holding control to duplicate and flip these guys around. So yeah, my vacation, it was awesome. I went to Nevada and I went kayaking for the first time. It was really cool. It was very peaceful and very chill. It was definitely like one of the chillest things I've ever done. So I definitely want to go kayaking again. I almost came to the point where I bought one just because it was so chill, but I think that'll have to wait because there's not any lakes around us here in California. What else did I do? I went on a UTV. That's a ATV, but like the car version. So that was really cool. We just like tore up through the mountains. Brought some snacks. We brought some like grapes and stuff, you know, just chilling with some grapes. It was a good time. I don't think we need that middle one. Awesome. So that's that. We'll stack it one more. We'll go more on top of that. Actually, I think that can just be its own deal. That'll be its own little setup. So now let's do one with like these barrels. Let's just stack a whole bunch of barrels. And I think I can do this with a cloner. So let's grab this instance here. And I'll hold Alt, select the cloner, and I'll just bring these in together. Just like that, okay? And then I'm gonna give it, let's go ahead and give this a random modifier or a random effector. Okay. And I'll turn off position. We'll just mess with rotation, I believe. Yeah. X rotation, I'll set that to 1080, so they're all just kind of randomly rotated around different points. So that's cool. We'll do that. Let's take these small guys. I'm going to control drag these guys out. I'm going to hold control alt. Let's see. Let's bring them to center. Or no, reset PSR. Yeah. I'll take the ammo crate. I'll lay it on its side. So these are all about as tall as each other. Or rather, I can scale this ammo crate down. I'll do like 0.9. 0.85. I want to get them pretty uniform. Let's do center axis tool, Y to 0. Oh, that didn't work. I'll just bring that down to the ground manually. About there. And now they're roughly all the same size, height-wise. And I'll select those three, Control-Alt, put them in a cloner. Like that. And then I want to set the cloner to random. And that will randomize how these guys are laid out. And then I'll do a random effector again. We'll uncheck position and we'll put it on rotation. Randomly rotate these guys. And we'll also do position. I'll zero them out first. And I'll just do 1 and 1. And try and bring these a little closer together. Something like that. And we can stack it on top of each other 3 times. See, this is why it's tough to do it with the cloner, is because they're not actually touching each other. You'd have to go in and use dynamics to get them to fit. Oh, Sumit, you want to learn character creation? Man, I don't know. I don't really know too much about character creation. That's not my forte. But it means a lot that you want to learn it from me, man. I think for me, as far as character creation goes, I can like pick out characters that look cool, you know, and then use that as a reference to make my own. That's probably where I would start. So to make this worth our while, so we didn't just waste time doing this, let's actually get this going with some dynamics so we can use this in our scene. So I'll bring out a floor. I'll make the floor, let's give it a simulation collider body, okay? So that's going to ensure that when these crates drop, they're going to stop on the floor, just like in real life. And then I'll right-click our cloner. We'll simulate with a rigid body tag. Make sure you save, go to frame 0, and hit play, and those will just fall perfectly. Very nice. Let's see if we can't start it out a little closer to the floor so they don't bounce all crazy. Something like that. And maybe we set the random position back to 0. And they're sitting, yeah, they're sitting like something like that. But I feel like maybe the rotation, the random rotation, we can amp up a little bit more. Because these boxes are pretty uniform. Let's just try 360. That's not bad. So now we have a cluster of like ammo crates and stuff. But we want to take the dynamics tag off of it. So let's see. Let's go to crate instances. They were at the bottom. All right. And we want to click our dynamics tag. We'll set this as our initial state. So if we go to frame 0, they're gonna stay like this at frame 0. And then I think we're in the boat where we can just maybe delete the dynamics tag. Nope, that doesn't work. Go to frame 1, frame 4, delete the dynamics tag. Nope, that doesn't work. Let's try baking it. So I'm gonna hit Control D. We'll go to dynamics, cache, we'll bake it. All right, so now that's baked. Let's try it again. Undoing until, let's see, we'll go to Control D again, clear the cache, go back to frame 0, bake. Why are they starting up top like this? Clear the bake. Let's see. Set initial state. Let's bake that. Ah, so weird. Why is it doing that? So frame 1, we'll start them out that way. Let's try, if we just go -2. Oh, so weird. Shoot, why? I want to remove the dynamics tag because I don't want these to be dynamic anymore. I am only using the dynamics tag to get them to sit on top of each other. Once I do that, I can get rid of the dynamics tag altogether. But for some reason, it's not baking properly. All right, let's try it. Let's try it. The set initial state, I feel like, should do it. Set initial, oh, clear initial state, maybe? We'll go forward. We'll set that. Yeah, not working. Just let the dynamics tag. Oh, not enabled. Yeah, enabled off. Yo, hey, good tip there. Really, really good tip there. Who was that? Poinsen. Yeah. So Poinsen said to just disable the dynamics tag, but leave it on. That's a good tip. That's a really good tip. All right, we're almost there. We're almost ready when we can just like start stacking all this stuff together. So that's our little ammo crate bit there. We have our, ooh, let's take our barrels and give it a position effector, or a random position. So we want to do X and Y. So a little bit like that, and a little bit like that. Two and two, yeah, that's good. Sweet. We'll build one more stack of crates and then we'll call it a day. So let's try this again with the cloner. So let's grab that guy. Let's try and grab all of these. We'll control drag these out. We will reset PSR. So all these guys right here, we'll drop those into a cloner. And we want to get them pretty tight together. See, that's the issue, is that these boxes are different sizes and they're just not stacked properly. Yeah, I feel like that's not the way. All right, let's check back in with the chat here. How's everybody doing? So you guys are asking for other tutorials and other programs. To be honest, I probably won't do any Blender tutorials. I won't do any Maya tutorials. I'm going to do tutorials with what I use, with the programs that I use. Unreal Engine is the only program right now that I'm learning and trying to get the hang of. So that will be the only like new addition in terms of new tutorials. I do lots of Cinema 4D. I should do more After Effects. But yeah, like I'm not gonna learn a whole new tutorial. Like Blender Guru is putting out the best stuff. Ian Hubert is putting out the best stuff for Blender, right? So there's no need. Those guys are crushing the game right now. All right, let's just try duplicating this. And we'll randomly rotate these guys. Let's do it by no position, all rotation, 1080. Boom. So that's like a nice cluster of barrels there. And we'll do one last one. So let's grab this coffin looking thing. We'll grab this guy. Let's grab this guy. This military crate. Let's slip this guy in here. This is the most tedious part, guys, building out these assets. But pretty soon we're going to drop it into not this footage, but we'll drop it into the camera data we got from this footage, and then we'll light it really cool. I can't wait to light this. I can see it in my head, so very, very excited. Wicked. Thanks for hanging in there, man. That's intense. Hopefully I can get you a nice rendered frame, a lit frame, like maybe in an hour. We're almost there. We're going to start lighting all this stuff. It's going to look really nice. I'm just building out this last little chunk. And the reason we can duplicate all of these meshes here, and these are all 8K textures, is because we're doing it with a render instance. If we were to do it any other way, we would be destroying our system. It also helps that I got this this new graphics card from NVIDIA. They hooked it up with TMY. We're teaming up. We're doing some cool stuff together, so definitely stick around, guys. You do not want to miss out on the awesomeness. It's going to be some cool stuff for you guys. I know I keep saying it, but I'm excited. I'm super excited about it. All right. How do we want to build out this bit? Maybe we do some more of these crates. Sweet. Perfect. Perfect. And what I'll do is I'll make bigger blocks with these blocks here. And we'll duplicate those. Awesome, awesome. So excited. This is gonna look so good. And I want to break up these objects as much as possible. I don't want any like duplicated kind of looks going on here. And as long as these can like stack on top of each other to some level, then we'll be all right. Control-Shift-Z will undo camera moves. That's a really handy tip there. So right now I'm listening to my ambient playlist on Spotify on my Bone phones here. There's also a link, or there should be a link to that in the description. If not, then I know it's in one of my older stream videos. So maybe keep this window open and go find it. And come back, turn it on, and vibe out with me here, because it's pretty chill. I'm not going to lie. It's super chill. Alright, I think this is good. So I'm going to start grouping all this stuff together. Cluster 2. Let's take these barrels here. Let's remove one of them so it'll fit in here with these guys. So I'm actually going to put them on one side like this. And I'll randomly rotate them around like that. Perfect. So this will be cluster 3. I think we said this was our cluster 1. This guy will be cluster 4. Cluster 5. And I think that's it. So this is what we got. We made all these stacks, and now what we'll want to do is stack all of these on top of each other to make our corridor. Now I'm wondering if we can actually use dynamics to stack them. Like if I broke up, actually I have an idea. If I broke up cluster 3 into 2 parts. So like this would be 1 part, right? That way everything would roughly be cubes. Like right about there. So that will be its own deal. Cluster 5 or 6? Cluster 6. So now we have all of these like very similar shaped bits. And I bet you we can take this one and we can clone this again. So we'll do 4x4 or 2x2, and we'll set it to render instance, and we'll stack it one more time. And we'll randomly rotate these as well. And maybe we'll also give this a simulation tag, rigid body. And we'll let it drop. Whoa, it's because it's set to multi. Let's set it to, or render it, let's just set it to normal instance. There we go. And let's set initial state, go back to frame 0, and we'll turn dynamics off. And this is our cluster 5. So that way we can actually fit it in with the rest of this. It's all the same shape. So now we're at a point where we can start really having fun. Okay, so I wonder, is it possible to do the dynamics trick with these here, with these objects here? But I know that dynamics can't be done with render instances. So maybe what we'll do is we'll just use a cloner, because they're all basically the same size, roughly. And we can start stacking them. All right. Let's bring back in our test geometry. Let me drop all these random effectors into geometry. Effectors. Sweet. And we'll put all the clusters into final cluster setup. Everybody doing okay? Thumbs up if you guys are hanging in there and following along. We're about to build out our final scene, apply our camera data that we tracked already, and we're going to light it. That's going to be the best part. It all comes together in the end. Broken. Absolutely, man. I really enjoy these live streams. They're fun. I learn a lot while doing them. I'm glad you're getting value from it. I'm glad you're enjoying all this from Albania, man. That's a ways away. Heck yeah. All right, let's do our base geometry. We'll bring that back. And I'll zoom out. Let's set the base geometry. What's the easiest way to do this? If we set the base geometry to X-ray, maybe? I'll select all the cubes, hit X-ray. I also feel like we can scale it down too, just so we can just get a better sense of where we're at. All right, so I'm wondering if we just need to set up very specifically this first area in here, and then we can kind of clone everything else. I'm betting we can do that. So let's start with specifically setting up the area that the camera is very, very close to. Okay? So I'll take the final cluster setup, and I'm just going to start duplicating it. And since they're all instances, it's totally fine. We don't have to worry about overtaxing our system or anything like that. Cluster 3, let's go ahead and reset the anchor point. I think we can just hit L and get it right there in the middle. That's totally fine. Oh, cluster 3 has cluster 6 inside of it, I think. It does. Yeah, there we go. So let's bring our camera back in and see where it starts. All right, right about there. So we don't have to worry about any point behind there. All right, let's see what it looks like. Ah, so excited. I'm so excited to light this. Cool. Very cool. Christian, what's up, dude? Been a minute. Man, how was the well-deserved holiday? It was great, man. I got a lot of chance to read and go kayaking and ride my one wheel. It was an awesome time. I actually finished this book here, which of course I got on cue. Boom. The 5 a.m. Club. This book is incredible. It's all about starting your day at 5 a.m. and the first 20 minutes are spent working out really hard. The next 20 minutes are spent either meditating in silence, doing yoga, like just a mental rest, or setting up your day, journaling, right? And then the last 20 minutes are spent learning. So for me, I'm watching Unreal tutorials right now. And the idea is that if you set up your day in a way that allows you to tackle the heart, mind, soul, and body, and you do that every single day for the rest of your life, then you're going to be about the most efficient, maxed out version of yourself as possible. So that's certainly what I'm trying to implement. I don't want to let anything slip. I don't want anything slide. So I got a lot of work to do, a lot of hard work to do. So I just want to make sure that I'm putting in the effort that's needed to accomplish all the things I want to accomplish, because I have a lot of goals, and I'm very excited. So I feel like we're missing something. Did I delete cluster 6? I did. I straight up deleted cluster 6. No good. Don't do that. Definitely don't do that. So this is the last bit of tediousness we need to worry about, because once we get this intro bit done, or the area that we're really going to be focusing and seeing our main elements, then we can actually like work and focus on just duplicating all these up the stack. We don't have to worry about all the detail stuff in the background. We'll just let it duplicate and it'll be totally fine. So duplicating cluster 1, I'm going to rotate it. Just a little bit. We'll get it right there on the corner. This is getting awesome. All right, let's see what it looks like. Sweet. Yeah, this is going to be good. This is going to be really good. I'm so amped. So amped. The lighting is going to be really nice. All right, let's take this and the crates. So cluster 3 and 4, or actually wait. So cluster 3. So holding control, I'm going to duplicate that. Ooh, there's actually more in there. Sweet. Okay, so it was 3, 4, and 6. These ammo crates, I feel like, aren't my favorite element. So I'm going to make sure that they start out like right in the foreground and they leave quickly. So if we go into camera view, we can see there's a bunch of ammo crates there, and maybe that's even a bit too much. So we might want to get those like, maybe those will be the second layer, and we'll do this stuff. We'll do like cluster 1, we'll copy over here. And we'll do another cluster on here. Again, I want to make sure that you can't tell that this is duplicated. So I always want to be mixing up the way I'm stacking all these elements. And the best thing is we have 4 sides to each one of these, so technically there's 4 different looks we can get from one stack. And it'd be cool if they were kind of looming in, teetering in from above. Oh yeah, this is feeling good. I'm very excited about this. So this is kind of inspired partly because I've been playing a lot of Last of Us. But it's also inspired by my vacation a little bit because we went into this antique store and it was something else. It was packed so tight with just like crap. And it was dimly lit. And that's certainly the way I'm going to be lighting this. Very dim and very cramped. Oh, this is going to be so good. I'm legit excited about this. And again, the reason we can do all of these materials, these are all 8K materials going here, is because they're instanced. We only have to load it once. That's it. Awesome. Very, very cool. Let's just render it and see what we got. Yeah, we'll definitely throw some fog in there, no doubt. Don't worry. There will be fog. Ooh, a big loading container. Like a shipping container. That could be cool. I don't really have access to a shipping container right now. But you know, that's okay. That's all good. And I want to keep it in this like wood theme too. Guys, look how smoothly this is running. Oh my goodness. This is insane. This new RTX 6K is really crushing it. Yeah, this is going to be sweet. We'll get it top lit. I think I have a top lit HDR. Let me find one real quick. Just while we're looking at the render or testing it. So this actually, I'm using my Warzone pack that I created. If you guys can pick that up on Gumroad, it's like $8. And it's just a bunch of different like Battlefield set HDRIs. So we got like stuff in a plane fuselage, destroyed fuselage. We got a field full of barrels. You know, we got a junkyard. We got sewers. It's a good time. Yeah, we got a nasty old crawl space. Ooh, this could be cool. Let me set it up so that we're getting lit from the front here. That's awesome. Melanie, what's up? Yeah, the streams are back. Back from vacation. But yeah, this looks... Ooh, this is going to look so good. I'm so excited. That is wonderful. Oh, maybe what I'll do is I'll add a flashlight as well. I think that could be really, really cool. I'm just impressed that the frame rate like is still good with all of the different assets we're using. It is really, really awesome. Okay, I might switch out these barrels for maybe, I don't know, because they're like right in view. And this is when you're art directing your scene here. What do you want the audience to see? Ours, yo. What's up, dude? Or not ours, Armando. I appreciate you, man. Thank you. The super chat is very, very welcome. Thank you. You're the best. Thanks for the help and the training you made for us. I've learned a lot from you. Yay! That's awesome, dude. Let's keep going. Let's keep learning every Saturday just for you guys. This is awesome. You guys make me happy. Heck yeah. Yeah, no, we're going to get it with the directional light. Dude, do not worry. We're going to top light it with some Edison bulbs. I got these guys queued up. Let me show you real quick. Right here, we're going to light it with these hanging from above. So that's going to be super chill. It's going to be all top lit and nice. So don't you worry, my friend. It's going to look good. Okay. Back to it. Where are we at? Assets? Yes. I'll pause the render for now. And we'll keep building out our scene. What's up, Henry? Yo, man. Glad you're enjoying the stream. It means a lot. Yeah, vacation was chill, man. I really appreciate everybody asking. Yeah, vacation was great. Very peaceful. All right, holding control, duplicating this. And remember, guys, we have 4 sides, 4 different looks to each one of these cubes. So make sure to rotate them around, all right? And the best part is we can move all these individual bits. This is completely adjustable. That is the very best part. We can remove any little pieces that we want. We can fill in the gaps too later. Very nice. We might be close to the point where we can actually start duplicating or start cloning these cubes in these clusters. I think we are. I think I'll add one more stack, one more vertical stack to these last two here. And then I'll do probably one more vertical stack. I'll do one more vertical stack to everything in the foreground. I need to add one here, and then I need to add two more back there. Okay. And then we can just duplicate everything out. I can't wait to get a floor going too. Ooh, it's gonna look nice. Yeah, and all the assets are from Megascans, the very best. This is like the greatest. So nice. I'm seriously like, my heart is beating so fast because I am so excited to light this. All right, and then we'll just add two more stacks back here. So I'll grab these guys and just clone them back here. And maybe I'll give it a little bit of like turn to it. So it kind of like disappears around the corner. See what that looks like. Oh, that is so cool. Yeah, it just needs to keep going. Oh, these ammo crates got reset somehow. That sucks. Dang. What happened? Yeah, that dynamics thing, not the best. I wonder if it's because I deleted the floor. Dang, everything got reset. The whole thing got reset. They're just floating. Ugh. But I think, wait, are these ones good? Nope. So you just have to make sure that, like, nothing looks duplicated. And I've said this multiple times here, but it's just very important. That's what's taking the most time. So what got started me or what got me started with VFX? Great question. So, basically, let me just make sure my floor is correct here. So basically, my buddy Bobby, he came over one day and I asked him, he brought his video camera, right? And I asked him, how does a video camera work? Like, how do the movies cut from one image to another? That blew my mind. I didn't understand it. And he showed me, he rolled over here, he cut, and he rolled over here, and he played back, and he showed the cut. And I was like, what the heck? That is awesome. So what he did or basically from there, he told me, hey, you have a Windows Movie Maker on your computer. You can create, you can edit movies if you want to make movies. And I was like, dude, that sounds awesome. Thank you for letting me know about that. And my brother at the time had a really new digital camera. It was like a small little cheap thing, but it was brand new. It was a digital camera and it had a video mode on it. So I took that and I just started filming dumb stuff. Like I had a bunch of airsoft guns, so I filmed little airsoft shorts and whatnot. And I started adding like muzzle flashes to individual frames, and I would save it out in Macromedia Fireworks. They're not around anymore, but that's kind of how I got started with all that. And I discovered Video Copilot, and that was the point when I was like, okay, this is legit. This is really cool that you can create all these things. I want to learn more. So, I just learned a whole bunch through Andrew Kramer and all of his tutorials. And a friend on YouTube, he sent me a copy of After Effects when I couldn't get it. So that was very, very kind of him. And I basically got addicted to learning because when I moved from California to Georgia, currently I'm back in LA, but when I had originally moved, right, from California to Georgia, and I didn't have any friends. I didn't really know anybody. So I spent most of my time learning. I learned as much as I possibly could. And that is basically how I got addicted to learning and filmmaking and visual effects. So it's been a fun ride. Let's stack these up taller. These need to continue stacking. So let's get like this, I believe. Yep, we can get those. We'll rotate them just a little bit. And we'll get those right in there. And we want to stack these guys too, right in front of us. So we'll stack those up. And these guys don't need to be perfect because they are in the background. Well, we're almost on the lighting, my favorite part. It's really going to make this shine. Hey, what's up, Sotomonte? Everyone say hello to Sotomonte. He's he's actually the first moderator on the Discord server, and he's done a really good job of building it up to what it is today. So definitely give Sotomonte a wave, a clap, a high five, something. Just let him know that you guys appreciate and support him. He's been doing cool stuff in the server, making it really nice for you guys. So shout outs to my man Soto Monte. All right, guys, we're at the point. Like there's this little empty space back here. Let's fill it with something because there is no place to hide in this place here. There's only boxes and crap. Let's raise it up. There it is. Sweet. So the rest of this, I think, can just be duplicated back here. So here's what we'll do. We'll hop out of camera view. This is our scene. I'm going to grab actually we already have it. It's in our geometry and it's in our base geometry. Let's hide the plane for a second. And it's these 2 bits, actually 3 bits here as well. And actually it'd be cool if this opened up. So let's move this right up to that corner. This will get right up to the corner there. And if this opened up a little bit, so if I use the axis center tool and move it -z plus x, we'll leave y at 0. It should go right into the corner, right in there, yeah. And we'll do the same with this guy. It's just going to be plus x minus z. Oh wait, no, I got that wrong. It is plus z plus x. Yep, and it goes right into that corner. And we can rotate it on that point and just open it up a little bit. Just like that. And we'll take the base geometry and we'll scale it up. Just like that. And we'll make sure that... Oh, weird. Something happened. What happened? Oh, it's just not lined up. So we'll want to make sure... Oh, because we scaled it from... Wait, no, that should be fine. There it is. Yeah, that's going to be sweet. Okay. Yeah, the basement where you've lost something and you need to find it. What's the left tag on the Octane Sky? That is a very handy plugin called HDRI Link, and that allows you to just launch HDRI Browser. It's a Grayscale Gorilla plugin, and yeah, it basically allows you to search through all your different HDRIs, all the different packs. This is all from Grayscale Gorilla, except for my Warzone pack here. And you can do custom stuff. So that's the coolest part, is you can, like, these are custom. This is, what is this? Manhattan Nights. These are night HDRIs. So it allows you to easily browse everything. It'd be really cool to, I'll reach out. I'll reach out to them because they actually sponsored one of the weekly challenges, and they gave out their everyday materials collection as a prize for you guys, to the top 5 winners. So maybe I'll reach out and I'll ask them, hey, would you guys be down to maybe drop another Cinema 4D plugin or something? It'll be nice though for prizes to be not program specific, you know what I mean? But anyway, just an idea. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna clone all this stuff across these bits here. So what is the smartest way to do this? Let's take our base geometry and we'll make it as high as it needs to go. 0.75, is that the max? Yeah, it looks like 0.75. All right, that's the max, so we don't want to make it any higher than that. And then we can also take our edges in to the point where just where we need them, right? Because we don't want to fill this entire thing with boxes and crates. We just want to fill the section we need with boxes and crates. So just a sliver, maybe, just that. Same for this one. We just need a sliver. And technically, these edges can come down. So now when we look through our camera, it looks the same, but we have a lot less space to fill. So we just want to save that data. Now what we'll do, all right, let's go to our final cluster setup. Let's grab one of each. 1, 2, 4, 5, 3, 4, 5, 6. Here we go. So I'm going to hold control, drag these out. This is everything we're working with right here. I'm going to reset the PSR on this, drag them out again, and we should be able to just move these out. They should all be on the ground. Some of these are not. Let's just make that adjustment. Weird. I don't know why that's not working. Let me try something. Let me grab those 5. We'll reset PSR again, and I'll center that axis. Weird. Okay, so it's still not doing what we need it to do. Let me undo everything, and we'll just try that again. We want to make sure that the axis is in the middle of all these guys. And I don't know why it's not working properly like it should. Yeah, that's in the middle. Cool, that's in the middle. That's right in the middle. I just want to line these up. We're getting set up to clone them, right? And now we'll go to our front view and just make sure that they're all sitting on the ground. So we'll get the anchor points all correct. Cool. Now we can zero out. We can zero out all these models, and they should be sitting on the floor, right at. What the heck? Why is the floor not the floor? Oh, that's confusing. Anyway. Yeah, that is weird. It's probably because they're in these nulls. There's like 12 nulls inside of each other. There we go. All right, so now they're sitting on the ground. And now we will clone them. So these 5. Yo, Martin. Thank you, sir. Wow, much appreciated. Thank you, Martin. We're almost there. We're almost to lighting. Should be fun. All right. Why is the floor not the floor? Who knows? Okay, let's take all this. Let's clone it. I'm holding Control Alt, and I'm going to pop it into a cloner. So instead of cloning them in a grid, I'm going to clone them based off of an object. And the object will be one of these cubes. So we'll go to create base geometry. Let's grab one of these cubes, and that will be, god dang it, where'd it go? There it is, cloner. Cube 1. Wonderful. Okay, so we just want it to be cloned once along this bit. So if I just make that a flat plane, move it over a little bit, that's all we need. Okay, so now when we clone this, let's set the iteration, the clones, we'll set it to random, and then we'll take the instance, we'll set it to render instance, or we can even do multi-instance, I think, and then tell it to, it's only showing a certain percentage, I think. But I think we're good with render. We're good with render instance. So you see how they're all rotated like that? We certainly don't want that. So up vector we can set to +y, and they'll just sit normally. And we don't want it on the surface. Actually, do we want it on the surface? We want it on the volume. And if we just crank the count, no, there should be a way to do this. Surface. Let me set it to like 300. Or maybe what we should do, I feel like this isn't working for us. Maybe what we could do is clone it as a grid like we have here, okay? And we'll just stretch out, we'll stretch it out like this. In fact, we want it to be per step. So we need to type in the number that touches these as close together as possible. So 100 is probably where we want to be. Yeah. And we want to get to the point where it's the same on the Z. Cool. Works for me. And then I think we can set this to like 15, maybe 20, right? So that gets us the length of our hallway. And then we will also set the height to, let's start with 2 for now and work this in, right? So let's go ahead and get it so it's just sitting flush. That's actually pretty dang perfect. It's a little off. Maybe 35 is a good middle ground. There's definitely some space in some of these. But I think that's okay. I think it'll be hidden. So 35, let's say like 38, 36. Melanie, yo, thank you for the super chat. Heck yeah. You say, glad to hear you had a good holiday. I hope you could rest up and recharge. Any chance I can get feedback from you on a couple photographs I took with lessons in mind I learned on your previous streams? Absolutely. Absolutely, Melanie. If you want to go ahead and message me on Discord. Do you have Discord, Melanie? If so, just send me a message on Discord and I'll happily critique anything you have. Absolutely. Thank you so much. Your birthday super chat last 2 weeks, I guess, was absolutely incredible. Thank you so much. I had a very nice meal with that. So thank you, thank you. Okay, let's keep going. So I know I want less barrels. There's too many barrels. So what I'll do, let's turn off the cloner, find which one is the barrel. This one here, okay? There's too many of them, so that's cluster 4. Let's duplicate everything that isn't cluster 4. So now we have a lot less barrels. So it's duplicating everything twice, except for the barrels, right? It's only duplicating the barrels once. And let's see what else we can adjust on this. I would love to rotate each one of these elements, but randomly. I want to randomly rotate them by 90 degrees. I know that you can do it with a linear cloner, so maybe that's the way to go on this. Maybe we linearly clone negative, what is it, negative x, so it'd be 100, and we do it 25 times, maybe just 20. All right, so we have all these little assets, and we want to randomly rotate them by 90 degrees. So I think, let's see, if we go to transform, see, that does everything. I know there's a way. Shoot, I'm trying to think. I know there's a way to do this. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. You see how this rotates everything randomly on its own? I want to do that on the correct axis. I just feel like... Because I could just bust out a random effector. Yeah, with the position going, we can set that to like 3. Y will be 0, and that'll be 3. Rotation we can set. See, this randomly rotates everything, but I only want it to be in like 45 degree or 90 degree little snaps. So I don't want any 45 degree nonsense. I'm just looking for perfectly aligned little bits here, but snapped at 90 degrees. Oh, is that it? Modify clone? No. That's changing the clone out. Give them their own pivot point. But here's the thing is like, I see how these two are clones of each other? I want this to be randomly rotated like in a different direction. I'm not doing a good job of explaining myself. My brain is a little dead here. I want to rotate this on a north, south, east, west kind of setup. Individually controlled. I think the random rotator is probably the best bet I have of doing this. But you just see how they're all like randomly like skewed. I want them to be lined up as close as possible. Yeah, so I want it to look like this, but just randomly snapped. I wonder if I can do it with a step. But instead of scale, it's rotation. It's kind of like this, but more so, maybe if I change out this spline so it's going in steps. Oh wow, I got some math going here. I wish I could just draw it. Yeah, it's not quite doing what I want it to do. I think it's okay. I think we'll just have to deal with it. Oh, snap. All right, let's try it. Formula effector with 90-degree set to parameter. Formula, all right, man, this is intense. All right, formula effector. Formula effector with 90-degree set to parameter, and this in formula. Did that do it? Yo, it did it. What the heck? That was so fast. Yeah, look. These are both clones of each other, right? This one and this one, but they're randomly rotated. Wow. Yeah, so 180 would work. 360 would work. That's so good. I think it's doing it. Is it doing it? 720? Or it has to be like, yeah, that's totally working. That's amazing. You can see this is the same clone, but they're rotated differently and snapped exactly to 90. Whoa, that was next level. I go by Zach. Zach, thank you. Crazy. Dang, I don't know anything about that. That is good. So that's exactly what I need. I'm wondering if I can just set this cloner back to a grid array. I think that's doing it, man. The formula effector is certainly working. So cool. So let's line this up. This needs to be stacked up. Oh, because it's doing it from the center point there. Awesome. Dude, this is awesome. Let's group this. get our anchor point down to 0. And we'll slide it over to the corner. And let's hop into camera view real quick. And we need to get this thing over. Right there. Awesome. Okay, so now what I want to do, it's a little too uniform. Let's rotate this thing. Yep, that's good. It's a little too uniform, so we'll go with the random effector on our cloner. We'll grab that guy. And we want this to be like this. Popping in and out like that. Wonderful. Very nice. Yes, a lot of geometry. But look at that frame rate. It's above 24. It's because I got that brand new RTX Quadro 6000 running right now. It is crushing this scene like no problem. Big shout out to PNY and NVIDIA. NVIDIA sent me out this card. It's about the 5th time I said it on the stream, but hey, I'm very happy. You guys made me very happy. So thank you, NVIDIA. PNY is a collaboration. We're teaming up together. We're going to do some cool stuff for you guys in the coming months. So get ready. No details yet, but get ready. All right, that's all I'm saying. Dude, this is looking good. Let's duplicate this, holding control, moving it over. And I'm just going to rotate it. A little bit more. Very nice. Cool. Alright, so we want to make sure it's on the floor. We can get rid of this cube. And let's go ahead and make sure, let's see, let's check our cloner. Render instances, yeah. We can turn off textures by hitting NQ. And now our frame rate's below 24, finally. And I'll just drop in that last little chunk back here to wrap it out. So let's hop out of camera. Jeez. That is crazy. Absolutely crazy. So we'll duplicate the null, holding control, and let's adjust the cloner settings. So everything goes back to 1. Actually, the height will stay the same. The height will stay at 30. Let's get that down to 2, and let's get that at like 6 maybe, and we'll just cap it off right at the end here. And we'll do a cool thing like, actually no, we'll just do it with lighting. We'll do it with lighting. It's gonna be great. Yo, that's a good idea. Luggage lost by TSA. That's really funny. So you can do a thing where you go to display and you set everything to, what is it, box? Yeah, our frame rate's still, it's at 10. But let's light this thing. Let's take a look at this little bit here and see how we can improve the lighting. And last thing before I do that, I'm going to just rotate this camera just a bit. I want to tilt it up right at this moment. So maybe what I'll do is I'll go to camera, I'm going to solo it. I'll hop out of it. And okay, yeah, so it's right in the middle. Let's move the anchor point so it's in line with the camera. Right about there. And I just want to rotate this up like that. So that should allow us to see a bit more. Yeah. Uh-oh. That was close. Sweet. All right. Let's light this thing. All right, let's render it and see what we got. Actually, before we do that, I'm going to take the HDRI and I'm just going to set it to a color. I'm going to set it to black. So we're just in a black void. And we'll render, and hopefully we'll see nothing. And then we'll start dropping in lights. I don't know if we have enough time to do the Edison bulbs. I would love to. I have to be somewhere at 3 o'clock. I'm going to be a little bit late to that already as is. But we'll see what we can do here. I certainly don't want to cheat this. I want this to be as good as possible. Okay. So let's start dropping in some lights. I'll just make an octane area light, and it already looks super creepy. So what I'll do is I'll go to options and I'll uncheck camera so I can actually hop out of my camera here. And let's just clean this up. So I'm going to hit NQ to get rid of the textures. ND, I believe. No, NC. We'll have it so that there's no lighting in your viewport. We'll scale this down. And we want to get an IES light. And that's basically a light profile. That looks like a realistic light. And that's the vibe. This is what we want right here. Oh wow, that's incredible. That is super creepy. I love it. So you can just pop that light in a cloner and set it to linear and minus X. So it'd be every, I don't know, every 100 inches, maybe every 20 feet. 20 feet. And we'll just have it go. So it'll be like 10 times. All right, so that doesn't look right. Why is that not right? Let me render it again. Yep, totally. Indiana Jones vibes. 100%. So it's thinking. It's thinking very hard. And for some reason, oh. Let's turn check camera back on. For some reason, we're not seeing things. So I wonder if that's because all right, let's troubleshoot this a little bit. So it's these last three nulls. Render instance. Is it multi-instance? No. What about just instance? Is it going to break? All right, so that's everything. We're seeing everything at this point. And we'll adjust our lights. Oh, there it is. Okay, I'm just trying to get them like lined up with the corridor a bit more. And we can take the lights and we can hide them so they're not camera visible. Or maybe what we do is we bring them up. So let's just take the cloner up like 20 feet. And it looks like it's being blocked, so I'm going to uncheck the camera, hop out, and see what's going on. Okay, they went the wrong way. We'll bring them way up here. Man, this is a delicate process. I don't want to rush this. Let's take the lights. Maybe here's what we'll do. Here's what we still need. We need to do this right. Let me actually hop into a new file here, a new project file. And I have my HDRI set up. I'll zero it out so it's just darkness, okay? Let's find a floor. Concrete floor. Dusty concrete floor. This seems appropriate. Let's go ahead and download this. So this is Quixel Bridge. It allows us to download all the Megascans assets very easily and transport them to whatever program you're working in very quickly. So you guys will see here. You've probably seen this a million times. Yeah, the lights are probably not directional enough. So I'm going to actually do this the right way with an IES profile so they look legit. And thanks for sticking around, guys. It means a lot. We're going to make some cool stuff here. This definitely needs a careful attention to detail with the lighting here, because all of our work would be for no reason. All right, we'll go to export settings, 8K, Cinema 4D. Yeah, let's export this. And it's going to transfer into our scene very quickly. And by very quickly, I mean it's going to load for a second. It's just it's a lot faster than manually inputting everything. There it is. Cool. All right, so we got our floor down here. Looks nice. So let's mess around with some lights here. What we need to do is we make an octane area light. We'll point it at the ground. Raise it up. And in texture, I believe, we're going to load an image. And they're free online. You can find them everywhere online, but they're called IES profiles, okay? And you get an idea here of what they can do. So basically, these images show you what they look like. So number 2 is a good one, right? Because that's a very like top-down, spotty kind of look. And you know, maybe this one, number 8, can be cool. So I'll load that in, and it's going to, if I turn the HDRI back on, take our plane and scale it up. If you make this light small enough, I believe, is it small enough or big enough? Small enough? I don't know. Let's try cranking the settings on this. So we should get some sort of profile here. If I set it up against a wall, let me control drag this. So I feel like this isn't right. Let me try another one. Let me see if it's just that one. Oh, it's because, okay, I need to make an IES light. I need to do Octane, Shift C will search anything, IES light in Octane. Great, and I'll choose my profile, number 2. There we go. But why is it not? Oh, that's because, god dang it. I used the wrong one. Okay, that's a Cinema 4D one. I need to use an Octane one, so let's try that again. So I had to make sure I used, you have to switch over to IES right here. In the main, you go IES, and you load it into distribution. And there we go. You can start to see this IES profile take shape. Right? Might look like a flashlight or something. So that's the idea. That's what we want to go for. And if we have a person about that big, we want to find a profile that actually looks really cool in a large scale setting like we have. So there you get an idea of how this works. And I believe you can change the temperature. Yep. Definitely go for a warmer feel. 4200. That feels about right to me. So you can change that profile if you want. If you want to go with something brighter or, you know, maybe something a little different. Let's try 4. That could be cool. Let's try that. So I'm going to copy this light and we'll go into our scene here and let's paste it into this cloner. So now it's switched out our lights. Let's hop back into camera, render it, and see what we got. And I agree, volumetric lighting is gonna crush. It's what this needs. Certainly. So while that renders, I'm just gonna let a friend know I'm gonna be a little behind. So yeah, actually, guys, so after this, I'm headed into Hollywood, and I'm going to join up with a good friend, Mark Edward Harris. He's a professional photographer, travel photographer, and he put out a book called The Way of the Japanese Bath. It's absolutely incredible. It blew me away. I bought it right when I saw it. It was so cool. And I'm going to be joining him in Hollywood and interviewing him over the next couple hours and asking him questions like, you know, what are some awesome tips that you can give to the audience? And I'll be doing that on Instagram. So if you guys want to follow along on Instagram, I'm at _pwnisher_. I'll type it in here so you guys can see. So that's me on Instagram. Let's mess with this lighting. Dude, I feel like fog would totally just mess this whole thing up. It's gonna be ridiculous. Yeah, I think the lighting here needs to be very specifically tailored. I've been playing a lot of Last of Us, so I don't want to skip out on the lighting here. Like it's really gonna make or break this. Let's hop in here and let's maybe set our lighting up for the first bit. So here, let's set this up. And I'll probably have to bounce after I set up the lighting for this first bit here. But I'm going to keep working on this because this is really nice. Let's back out. And we'll get a spotlight right in the center here. We want to draw the eye into the background and have the background lit in such a way. Ooh, that's really cool. But I feel like we turn this down. And we hold control, we're going to duplicate it and put it behind the camera too. So it fills in that negative space. And we'll do it again. And this light I feel like will be the brightest. So maybe we take that middle light and take it to like 200. Maybe that's 300. This one here is 200, and then that last one will be 500. And let's drop our floor in because it's gonna really help us. I just want this to feel large. So one tip for setting lights is you can select the light, go to camera, use camera, and then set active object as camera. And now you are the light. Your viewport is the light. So you just navigate around. And I want to blast this with a spotlight. To give a cool effect here. If I back this off and turn it way up, like turn it up to like 2,000, 10,000. Maybe that's too much. Maybe I should just go with like that top light look. And I definitely feel like volumetric lighting needs to happen. So we'll probably add a bit of fog in here as well. I'm gonna drag our floor texture in. And I want to just clear out any of the textures that we're not using. Let's see, let's go materials, remove unused materials. Oh, actually, before we do that, I want to apply the floor material that we just transferred over. And now cinema is frozen. Oh, we're back. We're back. Yep, dust particles certainly would be very nice. Gross. That floor looks horrible. How do we make it better? Let's move this light up. And take a look at our floor. Let's zoom in on here. And I think we just need to adjust the projection. So I'll give it a projection node, and I'll pipe this into everything. And we'll set it to box. And we'll take transform, and we'll set it to like 0.2. It's really hard to see. Let me crank this up. Maybe we set it to 0.01 or 0.1. And that feels a bit better. Let me take this to glossy, octane. Yeah, much better. So this is really dark here. There's no fill light, so I certainly want to fill this out. And I think I'll do so with a soft light from behind here. That just looks really cool. That's awesome. So I'll spawn an octane light. We'll set the temperature to 4200. Hop back into camera, and we'll turn it way down. Let's take it to 0 first, and then let's maybe try 20. I feel like that's still a little much. We'll try 10. That feels a bit better. And let's see. Let's mess with our camera a bit here. So I think it'd be nice to have some depth of field. So we'll drop that down. let's take an aperture of like 1.8. Two 2.8. 3.5. I just want to have a little blurry here in the foreground. That feels good. But it still looks, I feel like we need to shape the light more so. So what we could do is try and blast these lights a little harder. So this is our fill light. That actually looks pretty nice. And if we remove the fill light, we just set it to like 2. And what I like to do when I light is turn them all off and turn them on one by one and see what we get. So that's directing the eye. That's leading the eye to that backspace there. Now this light is doing nothing. What is this light? Let's delete that. Okay. So we have this light is our background light. This is our like mid-ground situation here. And this is our fill. So if we fill it just a little bit, we have this mid-ground hit right here. And our background, I feel like that lights it a bit too much. So maybe we take our mid-ground and we take it way down to like 500 or 250 or something. So our eye is drawn to the background, and let's maybe turn up that background light to like 3000. And I'll just kind of rotate it around to see what it looks like. Now I'd love to do a little bit of bloom as well. Oh man, that looks cool too though. So our background light, if instead of zeroing it out, maybe we bring it to like 50. And we take our mid-ground light and really blast it. That's interesting as well. So that's like our fill, and then we have, actually no, our fill would be the light that is filling the shadows, and then this is like the key light. So let's mess more with our camera. Let's set this to 2 and 3. That's going to give us like a bokeh kind of a look. And let's go and we need to check camera to see this. All right, that color profile really makes it difficult to see. Oh man, that is super cool. Ooh, maybe if we have a light shining from this point here onto the wall. Like here or something. So we can duplicate one of these lights, this key light maybe. Yeah, come on. We'll take that. Man, this is crazy. We'll copy it, drag it back, scoot it down, get in close, and rotate it so it's facing this wall, and we get a nice beam of light, like hitting, basically hitting these stacks right here. Just like that. That's interesting. Freaking 2 FPS. Yeah, it's nuts right now. Let's go back to the camera and work in some post-processing. So this is just going to hit the brightest points and give them like a nice bloom. So let's see if I can't crank something up here. Oh, that's like some exterior light, like you're going outside, but I feel like that's not the right vibe. Just red. Yeah, so I'm just messing with a lot of stuff. I feel like it's a good way to get a look, you know, is to really go through a bunch of different iterations and find out the one that you enjoy. So let's see if we can't max out this bloom. There it is. Okay. Nice. So it's just those highlights are hitting that bloom right there. Nice and subtle. Keep it subtle. And then certainly, you know, giving it some fog would make it feel real nice too. Man, I feel like there's so much story stuff you can add to this. So I'm not, I could do aces here. Oh wow, there's even more. Oh wait, it looks like this is all doubled up. But I don't really feel the need to get into aces right now. It's a very complicated setup. I'm still learning it. Man, this is looking really cool. Let's just take a peek around the corner and see what it looks like. We'll add motion blur to this too. God, that light. Okay, yeah. That's intense. I think I'm just gonna give this a render while I leave and see what it looks like. Cause this could be really, really sweet. I'm gonna make sure I get rid of this light because it's very blinding and very intense. Certainly not what we're going for. So key light, the second one, I'll take visibility and just knock it out. Or maybe we set it to like 0.1, 0.001. Or we just move it up a little bit. Yeah, that's cool. So yeah, I think I'm going to give this a render. But I'm going to come back and keep lighting this because I definitely want this to look as good as possible. And it needs that detail precision work to get that look. So I'm going to set up motion blur real quick. Let's do 1/60. Centered. Make sure we save. Geometry, we'll give it an octane tag so it accepts the motion blur. We'll throw our plane into that. That's our floor. Let's set up the render, the place where it's going to render. Yep, 1280 by 720, certainly. All frames. 32-bit EXRs. We don't need alpha channel. And I'll give it a save here. I'll be sure to post this test in the Discord server for you guys so you can see what's going on. I'm going to keep working on it though, because it deserves the attention. So we'll just call this test V1 with 1,200 samples, and we'll give it a render and see how long it takes for a frame. While that's going, I think it's time to finally announce the winners of last week's weekly challenge. I was on vacation, but I still got the challenge out to you guys. The prompt was Storm. All right, it was a difficult one, a very, very difficult one. But let's go ahead and take a look at all of the entries. Not all the entries, just the 5 winners. That's who we're looking at today, guys. And then I'm going to announce this week's weekly challenge. So, let's see here. Let's find these winners. I know I got them saved somewhere. Boom, here we go. All right. So, first up, the first winner of this week's weekly challenge, prompted with Storm, is Blaster Jax. With this awesome image, I think you used Blender, I think you said. Yeah, you got your boat here, you got some boxes and some nice emissive lightning strikes here with the lighthouse in the background. Now this rain is thish, dude. This rain, look at these cylinders. Come on, look at these cylinders, man. But it's not a bad technique. Not a bad technique at all. Maybe could have given them like a water texture at least. Something. I thought that was funny though. Nice technique. This is cool. I really dig this image. You know, I think more work could have gone in. You could have used some texture on the boat, of course, and take this to the max. I think you would benefit from that, come out with a nicer image, but I really like the vibe of this. So, Blaster Jax, you are a winner of this week's weekly challenge. Congratulations to you, brother. Next up, we have Gold with this image here. Absolutely incredible. This is basically based off of the game Inside. If you guys know that game, it's absolutely incredible. You should play it. It's like 4 or 5 hours. Such an amazing experience. And I love your take on this, Gold. This is a really nice take on the Storm prompt. You know, you guys know how to get me with the fog and the silhouettes going off into the background. I dig it a lot. So, Gold, congratulations. I love your composition. I love the lighting. All good here, man. Fantastic work. Next up, the next winner is David Katz. With this image here, this is really nice, man. A lot of detail work went into this, I can tell. Your background is super cool. It looks like that's almost like a painting or something back here. And then you have your foreground with the rocks, some steps, maybe some Megascans assets in here. I like your character. So here's what I would do. I feel like you can push and pull the highlights and shadows on this image. I also feel like you can work on your color in the background. It's a lot of colors going on. You have blue. There's probably some purple. I'm colorblind. There is this green here. There's orange. There's a lot going on, a lot of colors going on in this background. I would simplify the colors of the background. I'd also push the contrast, so I would make this a little bit brighter. And maybe spotlight your guy just a little bit more because he blends in. But overall, I really like this. I think it's super cool. It's detailed. There's work. You put a lot of work into this. So congratulations to you, David Katz, for winning this week's weekly challenge. All right, next up, 2 more, guys. There's 2 more. We got Nightman Cometh. I think that Nightman Cometh. I think is your name. With this image here, this is awesome. Very nice. It looks like you use Blender. Maybe I'm taking guesses. But this is really fun, man. Like, you put this together. I love your color composition. You got the orange and the blue going on. I think this is really good. You got a nice wet ground texture going. My 2 gripes with this image: it looks like the dude's floating, and it looks like your trash can is floating. That's it. That's all I have to say. Otherwise, I really dig it, man. I like what you put into this. I like the composition. I love the colors. So congratulations to you, Nightman Cometh, or Nightman Comet. I don't know. That's probably Nightman Cometh. Congratulations, you're winner of this week's weekly challenge. And last up, the last winner of this week's weekly challenge is what is it? Sharp aluminum flavor. Yes, with this image here. Very fun. It's a post-apocalyptic scene. You got your nice wet ground here, a nice battle-destroyed area in the mid-ground, and a really intense cyclone going on in the background with lightning strikes going into it. Again, with the color, you got the orange, you got the blue. I just don't know where the orange is coming from. Maybe if you put some street lights in there, it would justify it. Yeah, super creepy lightning. I'm not digging this overlay you put on top. Like some subtle film grain would be nice, but I think this is a bit too much. What else? It looks like this is an eyeball here. I can't really tell what this is. I might clean that up a bit. And get rid of that. But I like your silhouette. It's a good silhouette. Nice destroyed car. We got 2 destroyed cars here. But yeah, congratulations. Sharp aluminum flavor. You are a winner of this week's weekly challenge. You guys did a really good job. This prompt was difficult. It was very difficult, I know. So I really appreciate all the hard work you guys put in. And let's talk about this week's weekly challenge, because guys, like I said, I'm working together with PNY and NVIDIA, and we're going to do something really cool together for you guys. So definitely keep coming to these streams. There's going to be some cool stuff coming. So this week's weekly challenge, all right, I am open to suggestions. Let's start bringing them into the chat here and see what we got going on. Because I like taking requests from you guys. It makes it a little bit easier on me. One less thing to do while I prep for the stream. So I'll check in. We're getting 30-second frames. That is not bad. I'm excited. I am very excited for this. Heck yeah. We'll let this go. I'm going to run off to Hollywood and take some photos with my buddy Mark. I'll be on Instagram. He'll be dropping his photography tips for you guys. He's working on his new series. It's called Naked Hollywood. If you look up Mark Edward Harris, check him out. He's an awesome photographer. He inspired me a lot. So it's really cool to get the chance to go down and shoot with him. So catch me on Instagram. That's _pwnisher_. I'll be dropping some stuff on there on my stories. So let's take a look. Let's take a look at these prompts. Cute. Oh, cute is not bad. Castle. Holograms. Floral. We did flowers. I think we did potted plant in the past. Robots we've done. Archery. It's very specific. Pokemon. Pokemon is good. I'm a big fan of Pokemon. Vintage technology. Ooh, that's good. Dang, that's good. Vintage technology. That's a tough one. Yeah, that does sound cool. Ruins, vintage electronics or something. Abstract. Abstract could be interesting. I think right now it's between vintage technology and abstract. Oh, low poly is good too. Okay, I'm calling it. We're going to vote for abstract go. Let's see if we can't get like a little vote going. Abstract is 1. Vintage technology is 2. And 3 is god dang, what was 3? Abstract, vintage technology, and low poly. What do you guys think? No spamming. This is the honor system. Don't spam it. All right, lots of 2s. Okay. 2 it is. Vintage technology. That is the challenge for this week, all right? So, what are the rules? Wow, what vintage technology? What would vintage technology be? I guess it could be some like Fallout 3 style stuff. It could be like I guess a typewriter is counted as vintage technology. This is going to be tough. So, what we don't want to do is just download an asset from Megascans or from TurboSquid or whatever and light it and call it a thing, right? You want to actually try and build a scene from it. You want to, if you can, build your own thing, build your own vintage technology, render it, make it look really nice. The quality, the lighting, basically everything comes into play into the final image, and I decide the final renders based off of the ones that look the nicest. If they have a little bit of story, that goes a long way. There's a lot of things that come into a render. Like the first thing when I'm looking through, I'm looking for something that looks nice. Does it look nice? If it looks nice, I look deeper, I look more, and that sets apart when you basically get past the does it look nice part. I get into, are you telling a story? What kind of techniques are you using? Like how's your lighting? I get into the specifics of it, but it's got to look nice. So make it look nice. All right. Vintage technology, yeah. That's the way to go. Heck yeah. All right, guys. So I'm going to post that in the Discord server. But I got to run here. I got to meet up with Mark. And I'll see you guys next week, okay? Next week, vintage technology. Get on it. It's going to be fun. All right, guys. Peace. I'm going to post this render in the Discord server when I get back. So definitely keep a shout out. I've been talking for 4 hours straight, guys. Keep your eyes peeled for that. So, I'll see you guys next time. Peace.